tell me I'm too young to understand. They say I'm caught up in a dream. Well, life will pass me by if I don't open up my eyes. Well, that's fine by me. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself, and I didn't know I was lost. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself, and I didn't know I was lost. I tried carrying the weight of the world, but I only have 2 hands. Hope I get the chance to travel the world, but I don't have any plans. I wish that I could stay forever this young, not afraid to close my eyes. Oh, life's a game made for everyone, and love is the prize. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself, and I didn't know I was lost. I didn't know I was lost. I didn't know I was lost. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself, and I didn't know I was lost. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself, and I didn't know I was lost. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you just heard the IDC Herzliya band, and that was Jenny Chernobilski, first year business administration, and Aviv Leibovitz, first year business administration. Yaron Timor is clapping. He's clapping hard. They're all business administration. Don't mess around with Yaron Timor. And what did they sing? They sang "Wake Me Up" of Avicii. Wake me up. I'm a little hyper because I just got here from Miluim, got out of my uniform, ran here, did a quick 20-minute change, and I think Ambassador Michael Oren is running here from the Knesset, and he'll be any minute. We're very busy at IDC Herzliya. It's a very, very busy place, startup nation place. Now, what I'd like to do very simply is firstly invite the distinguished professors up to the stadium. Dr. Talas Ran, Communications, up to the stadium. Tal's a very popular guy. Very popular guy. You're a popular guy, Tal. Then we've got Guy Hoffman, the genius. The MIT boy. The MIT boy. Then we have the most relaxing guy on campus. Positive psychology man. all kinds of other psychology stuff. Dr. Danny Levy. Okay. Then we have the main man of business administration, Dr. Yaron Timor. Okay. Then we have Dr. Leslie Terrace. That's you. Yeah, that's you. Okay. Now, from the side of my eye, I thought I saw Dr. Karen Ayal here. Is she here? Okay. Dr. Karen Ayal, would you please stand? Okay. Dr. Karen Ayala is not sitting up here because she decided to give birth. After she decided to get married. And after that, they decided that we need some Jewish continuity around here. So they're knocking off a few kids. So that's Dr. Karen Ayala over there on the side, okay? Terrific. That's great. Now, I still don't see Dr. Do I see Michael Oren here? I see the ambassadors here. Okay, he made it. Good. He had to come all the way from Jerusalem here. What I'd like to just say to y'all is the following. This week we read a biblical portion, a Torah portion. It's called Bechukotai. And basically God promises that if the people of Israel will keep his commandments, they will enjoy material prosperity and dwell secure in their homeland. Now, secure in their homeland means in the land of Israel. And that was said 3,000 years ago. So guys, we were on the map 3,000 years ago, here, in this homeland, okay? The homeland of the Jewish people, Israel. And the Lord actually promised us material prosperity. Maybe that's why we have a GDP now of per capita income of $40,000 per year, okay? That's pretty cool. That's material prosperity. And he also promised us freedom and security and liberty of being here. And the Parsha concludes basically with the fact that we can't just be prosperous and enjoy life here without giving a tithe of what we earn. Okay, so basically this Parsha is about liberty and responsibility. It's about that Professor Uriel Reichman concept of liberty and responsibility. And what I'd like all of you to realize, all of you superb students in life, you have to balance between liberty and responsibility. It means hopefully you'll go out there, you'll hit the ground running, you'll do real well, but you'll also remember those in society who didn't succeed as well as we have, and you'll remember them as well. Liberty and responsibility, and also take good care of the land of Israel. It's an important place. Cultivate it, contribute to it. All of those things are extremely important. Now, just by a show of hands, how many kids out here, you're kids, how many kids out here have their parents overseas tonight and they're not here? Please rise, all of you, who don't have parents in the country right now. Okay? Now, let's have a hand. Let's have a hand for all of these students. Okay? I want you to know, dear students who don't have parents here, I never had any parents here throughout my Army service. I was a lone soldier. I never had any parents here throughout my university either, so I know where you're coming from. And I can understand where you're coming from, and you deserve another hand. Okay? And just because we want your parents to know that you were here and honored here tonight, there's a camera here. And at the end of this ceremony, there's a camera in the back here. And I'd like each of you individually to go up to that camera. We're actually going to film you, and we're going to send a clip. Mimi Laufer is going to send a clip to each of your parents so that they can see that you were actually here tonight and not playing hooky. Okay? All right. Now, parents in the audience, all the parents in the audience rise. All the parents in the audience rise. Okay? Now, students whose parents these are, give them a hand. Okay? Because there's a good chance that without these parents, you wouldn't be here tonight. So always remember to honor your mother and father. Okay? It's an important thing. Believe me. I've taught that to my children. I don't always get it, but sometimes I get it. Okay? Now, who's the grandmother here? Please rise. All the grandparents, please rise. All the grandparents, please rise. Okay. Oh, I see Lazarus from the side. There's Lazarus. There's Lazarus from Durban. He's one heck of a grandfather, I want to tell you. One heck of... Tova. Hey, how you doing, Tova? Good to see you. You and Witzo and everybody. All right. Tova's the world chairperson of Witzo and a grandmother with a kid here. All right? Terrific. Now, it's not every day that we get to have a keynote speaker at a ceremony like this who's a major league ball player like Ambassador Michael Oren. And I don't have to do too much of an introduction for Michael Oren. We can sum it up. Michael is an officer, diplomat, scholar, and gentleman. Well, gentleman most of the time, not when we reserve duty together, but most of the time. Okay? He has been in combat here. He's fought in the paratroopers. He has taught at Yale and Princeton. His books are well publicized. They're used as classic textbooks in many universities throughout the world and the United States. And he's writing a book right now as we speak. Every minute that he's not writing this book is at his expense, so we thank him for coming here. He made the case for Israel under tremendous pressure and against overwhelming odds. And it was great that when all hell was breaking loose in Israel, we had a person like Ambassador Oren who could make the case for Israel and not bat an eyelid and do the job in a cool, calm, and collected way. Ambassador Michael Oren, the floor is yours.
Erev Tov, everybody. Erev Tov. This is a great pleasure and a singular honor. You are distinguished graduates of IDC, and I'm supposed to be talking about you. So the best way I know to talk about you is to begin by talking about myself. Not the way Jonathan talked about me, because, you know, the war stuff and the Washington. I want to talk about a different part of my life. I imagine you, how many here people come from the United States of America? Fair amount. How many people come from the East Coast? How many people come from New Jersey? Yeah, there we go. So I grew up in New Jersey. What can I do? I grew up in New Jersey. I probably have more trouble defending the state of New Jersey than I've ever had defending the state of Israel. For some reason, New Jersey gets a bad rap. But I grew up in a typical New Jersey town. And maybe people have seen the Sopranos here. Right? Sopranos was shot in my hometown. The film, not the guy. Until the people, it was mostly a Sicilian town, until the Sicilians in my town told the Sopranos to get out of town. And they did. They filmed it in some other town. But a very typical upbringing. I went to the prep rallies. I went to the prom in a very lamentable banana tux. I went to the prom. You don't want to look at that picture. And the funny hairdo, an American upbringing. And yet from the earliest age, I knew that I wanted to live and make my life in the state of Israel. Now, I could sort of do a psychoanalysis on myself and say why this was. My father fought in World War II. He landed on Normandy Beach all the way through the war. My uncle, his brother, liberated concentration camps, and he took photographs of the horrors he saw there, and I would see those photographs growing up. I lived in a Sicilian neighborhood and had to run for my life from home, coming home from school every day. Sometimes I didn't quite make it home. I still have all these little scars on my knuckles from the type of fistfights I used to get into from anti-Semitic bullies in my neighborhood. All had a huge impact on me, perhaps not as big as the impact made by the bomb put in my synagogue when I was 15 years old. It blew up my synagogue in New Jersey. I'll never forget the image of the scene of these firefighters, Irish firefighters, leaping into the flames to save the Torah scrolls. An indelible image for me. And I somehow just knew that I was going to move to Israel. I was a little bit nuts, of course. I would mow lawns all year. I'd shovel snow during the year to save up enough money so that I could go to Israel every summer and work for free. How bizarre. You feel from the business school, this is not a good business model. And I would work on kibbutz. It was only a matter, as Jonathan says, moment of time, but I went into the army and the paratroopers. What was it about this place that I found so irresistibly gripping? Now, you're all familiar with the great axiom of Theodore Herzl. If you will it, it is no dream. Im tirtzu. Right? Very profound. But I don't think it does justice to the entire Zionist enterprise. Every time you mention the axiom, if you will, it is no dream, there should be a corollary to the axiom. And it comes from not a Jewish figure, but the great Irish poet, William Butler Yeats. Yeats said, "In dreams begin responsibilities. You can will it, it's your responsibility. It's your dream, but then you have to take responsibility for the dream." And what I loved about this place, what I found truly irresistible, was that Israel was the only country in the world where Jews could take responsibility for themselves as Jews. Because it's only here in this country where, as Jews, we take responsibility. We take our responsibility for electricity. We take responsibility for the sewers. We take the responsibility for our security and our economy and our society as Jews. And I love the sense of responsibility. It's what it's about. We talked about the parasha. Jonathan mentioned the balance between liberty and responsibility. Here is where it's happened. Here where the responsibility devolves onto each and every Israeli. And sovereignty, by the way, can be very messy. It's very messy sovereignty. We have crises, we have scandals. But the great blessing, the inestimable blessing, is that this mess is ours. It doesn't belong to anybody else. It belongs to each and every one of us. And this is a zchut, a privilege, to which generations of Jews were denied. But we're living in a time where it's not denied us. We have the privilege of dealing with sovereign mess. What an inestimable blessing it is. You, each and every one of you, has made a decision to come here, to come to Israel, and to study. By doing that, I'm sure it was intellectually stimulating, socially thrilling, environmentally inspiring, but at the end of the day, it's also about responsibility. By coming here, each and every one of you assumed a part of the responsibility for the project of the Israeli state and for the dream. In our dreams begin responsibilities. Over in the Lauder building, I'm thinking about the responsibilities that we bear as Israeli citizens for the foreign policy of this country. Now think about a blessing. Think about not your great-grandparents, my great-grandparents, sitting in some shtetl in Eastern Europe thinking, someday Jews are going to have the sovereign responsibility of formulating a foreign policy. And you realize what a remarkable development that is, but it's a responsibility. We have a responsibility. We have a responsibility to ensure that Israel, which we call the nation state of the Jewish people, is in fact the nation state of all the Jewish people. It's a foreign policy issue. Because right now the state of Israel doesn't quite recognize all of the Jewish people, particularly in North America and the mainstreams there, as being fully Jewish in the way that we understand it here. We have a responsibility to ensure that our foreign trade is secure and immunized against boycotts and embargoes, because there are threats of boycotts and embargoes out there, and it's our responsibility. It's not just to say, oh, we have good trade with this part of the world, just let's let it go. Let's not think about the future. We have a responsibility to seek peace with our Palestinian neighbors, and if our Palestinian neighbors prove, alas, once again, that they are either unwilling and or unable to make peace with us, we have a responsibility to ourselves and particularly to our children who have to defend us, to prove to them that we have exhausted all possible diplomatic options, and if those diplomatic options have been exhausted, then we have to take our destiny in our own hands and not outsource our fundamental decision-making to any other party, particularly not to the Palestinians. We have a responsibility to defend ourselves. We have to defend ourselves against innumerable threats in our area, but particularly against the Iranian nuclear threat. And while Israel has the greatest possible interest in securing a diplomatic solution to the Iranian nuclear threat, at the end of the day, we cannot outsource our fundamental security to any other state, no matter how friendly that state. We did not come back here after 2,000 years of exile to give up our sovereign right and our sovereign duty to self-defense. It's the most basic responsibility of all. All of this falls under the category of taking responsibility of ourselves. And of course, I'm only talking about foreign policy. We have a responsibility to make sure that Israel is a more just society, that Israel is a more righteous society, a more egalitarian society, a more Jewish society. We have all of those responsibilities, and they all devolve upon us. You've had a taste of it here. You've had a chance to prove your excellency in these fields, and you have achieved excellence in your field. If you want more, the responsibilities are out there. And I no longer can speak, as I once did a few months ago, in the name of the state and the government and the people of Israel. I can only speak to you as a citizen like everybody else up on this dais, a citizen, and say that this country needs you. It needs your energies, it needs your talents, it needs your intellect, it needs your youth, and most of all, it needs your shoulders. Because the shoulders are what we need to bear the responsibilities. If you enjoy bearing the responsibilities, this place is for you, and we'd love to have you. So, as a simple citizen, I'll say to each and every one of you, and particularly to your parents who are here or not there, to your grandparents, Mazal Tov, Kol HaKavod, Yefeh מאוד, Tada.
Thanks, Michael. I forgot to also mention that Michael's on the team here at IDC Herzliya. As one of the top NBA teams in Israel, we always like to recruit good players on this NBA team, especially folks who have good three-point shots and can take a few rebounds as well. Okay, now it's my pleasure to call on Dr. Yaron Timor to approach the podium. And I especially want to thank Michael because I know what a busy schedule he has. He's now rushing off somewhere else. He's like working real hard. Let's have a hand for Michael Oren. And now there's a young man here in the audience who we are going to confer upon him the Social and Academic Excellence Award for the whole of the Raphael Recanati International School. That's pretty serious stuff. His name is Nathaniel Dueb. Where are you? Here you are. Okay. So congratulations. Come on up and get your award. Photo opportunity.
Usually when you hear about business school, you think about how to make money, and students are coming here to learn how to do their own business. However, the School of Business, with the spirit of the IDC, is looking also, as the other schools, for achievements in contributing to the society. And thus, every year, the committee choose one student, and this year we chose Nathaniel. Nathaniel is a third-year business student specializing in finance, represented Israel in the delegation Faces of Israel, aimed to improve Israel's image throughout the world. He initiated the foundation of Zabar Fund to help the IDF warriors of Zabar Givati Legion. He also volunteered in the non-profit organization Pa'amonim, which aims to help families with financial problems. In addition, he volunteered in the Hillel project of World Jewish Heritage, which creates a comprehensive, reliable source of information regarding Jewish heritage sites and events around the world. And finally, he volunteered in the Jewish community, Salta, in Argentina, organizing lectures and activities for Jewish children. And also, his academic achievements are very, very high, so I am very happy and honored to give you this certificate, please.
For their first-year achievements, Outstanding Scholastic Distinction, Noah Klein. David Abitbol. Eshel Geffen. Kenny Mariasin. Gregory Starker. Jamie Kaufman. Or Levine. Gali Niv. Sapir Spiegel. Tal Elbaum. From the second year, Sagi Chen. Jason Chernovsky. Jonathan Bensky. Alan Cohen. Doron Vipranik. Rosie Poole. Aaron Fisher. Yael Abekassis. Nadav Avni. Oriel Brami. Itai Goldblum. From the third year, Nathaniel Dadun. Salomon Chokron Garzon. Adam Adler. Omer Harel. Joyce Atuel. Jacobo Taurel. Gili Tidhar. Shannon Delaney. And David Brandeis.
On to the government students, I would like to invite Dr. Leslie Terris to confer the certificates. First year, Batya Cook Doron. Igal Reich. Robert Morris Demgensky. Ziv Berebi. Mai Lawrence Bismuth. Zachary Schenk. Jesse Lazarus. and Miles Rosenblatt. Second year, Outstanding Scholastic Distinction, Joanna Paul. Danit Gal. Ornella Drori. Abraham Geduld. Alisa Tyrengale. Maya Shapochnik. Niran Hebron. And Noah Hakim. Third year, Henriette Shakar. Daniel Gershon. Ranan Tenenbaum. Agatha Dar Sarfati. Eva Daum Tubiana. Abigail Kirschbaum. Rachel Eliana Stern.
And now the communication students. I would like to invite Dr. Tal Azran to confer the certificates. First year, Outstanding Scholastic Distinction, Judith Karpel. Genevieve Humphrey. Zoe Jurkowski. Liat Kozuch. Lara Tabak. Valerie Ackerman. Caitlin Ferris. Ariel Ben Moshe. Dar Diamant. Dana Shoham. Sharon Barzilai. Second year, Shir Chasson. Brett Rudolph. אליסון מילץ'. יפתח חריטן. אליק אבירם פרידמן. קמילה סטה. ג'ודה גוטמן. נטלי בג'לי. טליה אחידוב. מיכאל פלוצ'וק. Third year. מאיה טל. מיכאל מינץ. מרגו סטלמן. אני סיילם. יעל רוג'רס. קיפ אדלר. לי רות נווה. לוק גסיורובסקי. מרגלית סנדלר.
Jonathan Schwartz, Outstanding Scholastic Distinction. Noah Weitzman Karni. שרון וולקוט. דניל דנילוב. עדי הנה סלע. תום צ'רניחובסקי. סקנדיה. אלה ווקר. נטלי וויקס גלוק. אליסה סטרנהיים. ירון מור. קיארה אניקה קראוזה. עדי גולדמן.
Third year, Hannah Shekers. Miriam Merson. Aviva Panokovsky.
Congratulations for the camera.
Jacqueline Zeltzer Beckerman.
Way to go, Jackie.
Damaris Graupner. Congratulations to all the students.
For a great job at handing out these certificates, and once more, congratulations to the students. I did not recognize in the audience Elil Ginsberg, who put this whole ceremony together, as well as about 30 or 40 other ceremonies. I also forgot to mention that in the front row are sitting Rena, Mimi, Annette, Stephanie, Linda, Joanne, Sarit, and Sylvia. Okay? The dedicated RRIS staff. This is a very, very Zionist group sitting here tonight. Students at the Raphael Recanati International School, 70% of those students immigrate to Israel. As we speak right now, that could be you, Lazarus, don't stop laughing. Okay? And actually, 150 of our graduates are right now serving in the IDF after they finish their BA. And as a person who right now is serving about 10 days in reserve duty myself, there are 3 graduates of the Raphael Recanati International School where I am. So there's nothing more fun than seeing our graduates even together in the Army. Let's have a hand for those 3 students who are doing reserves with me. Especially because they have to put up with me. Okay? And now, without any further ado, since I feel extremely Zionistic tonight, and I know that when I get home, I'm going to have to watch Mabat, or Channel 10, or Channel 2, and I'm going to get all depressed by, you know, what we see on TV. Okay? So I feel like tonight, we're all going to rise, and we're going to sing Hatikva here, together, as a group. And I'll tell you who's going to lead it. Dr. Yaron Timor, the star of the IDC choir.
כל עוד בלבב בנימה נפש יהודי הומיה ולפתי מזרח קדימה עין לציון צופיה עוד לא אבדה תקוותנו התקווה בת שנות 2000 להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון וירושלים להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון וירושלים. תודה רבה לכולם וערב טוב.